afternoon, everyone. I am the mother of Bilal Abdullah, who was recently killed on Baltimore City streets on June the 17th at Lauren and Pennsylvania Avenue. We are here today in reference to let y'all know that we are still a caring and mourning family, and we still need everyone's participation and everyone's help in any way that they can so that we can prosecute and get this case underway for this officer who is using his badge as a shield to commit murder on Baltimore City streets. And I use the term loosely murder because he's been involved in several cases since my son. I'm not sure the guy's name.
Dwight Hawkins.
Dwight Hawkins, who was just recently killed in the same manner. He seems to be targeting black men, and he doesn't know anything about them until afterwards. But it seems to me he's just targeting us. I feel as though he needs to be removed from the force because this is his second altercation within 6 months. He's using his badge as a legal way to justify killing young black men. And I emphasize that. And as far as my son, I'm back here to receive that justice because I feel the publicity that he got was negative. The work that he got from the police was negative. Police are assigned to diffuse a situation and take control of a situation, not incite a situation. In his case, they gave us 3 different I want to say episodes of what happened where his murder was concerned. And I'm using the term again, murder, because they're saying because he had a weapon that it was a justifiable homicide. There's no justifiable homicide in being shot over 9 times to your body. There's no justifiable homicide of having over 17 rounds on the ground, which seems to be this officer's problem, because in the case prior to this, he did the same thing. The man was shot from behind, from what I'm understanding. My son was shot several times, and they're not even recording the one where he was shot in the top of his head. So if you were coming to defuse a situation, and you were coming knowing that you had someone who had a gun, you were supposed to approach him accordingly, not the way he was approached. And I'm calling this a homicide. I'm calling this a murder because it's no justification for the way they handled this situation. And the reason why we're bringing it back up is because I'm here to try to get justice for my son to the fullest of whatever I can do to ensure that his name is cleared. Yes, he had a history. We all have histories. Yes, he did some things. We all do things. But that has nothing to do with how he was handled in this particular situation. And that has nothing to do with the kind of citizen he was. Yes, he was an A-rapper. Yes, he did other things. Yes, he was always in the public eyesight. He was loved by all, and he helped many. So his history and his past has nothing to do with how he was murdered, once again, by Baltimore City police under their badge, because they use their badge as a shield to do what they're doing. And this is what we're here for, his family as well as I.
How everybody doing today? I'm Taj Abdullah. I'm Bilal Abdullah's brother. I know that's my mother that just spoke, and she was speaking more from an emotional standpoint because we're all going through emotional things here today. But I really want to highlight the biggest issue that we got here at hand, and that's with them trying to persuade the public perception of what we got going on here in Baltimore City. A lot of the news and stuff that y'all see, they want to promote these guys carrying guns and holding guns, but they are avoiding the main subject at hand, and that's the immediate altercation, the immediate interaction with these guys from these cities. A lot of people look at the news and they do see these people holding guns and they have their own opinion, saying that these officers did what they were supposed to do, and it's only natural coming from a human being. However, we have to look at all of the details that come with this case. These officers had numerous opportunities to approach these young men. They sat around these young men. Even the pictures that they put out, they have zero aggression coming from these young men. The only time that you see any type of authority or aggression or anything from these guys is when they're in a cat and mouse chase from the law, which the law is not supposed to have a cat and mouse chase. They are trained to approach the scene the proper way. They are trained to diagnose and gather information that they need in order to pursue the person in the right direction. If you're watching these video camera footages, these officers, they have the power to control their body cam footage, so they're miscrewing the public with that as well. There's numerous times throughout multiple videos where you can see that these guys could have intervened and had a positive way of approaching these individuals with guns. However, they waited. Not only did they wait, they waited for an opportunity to chase, hunt them down, and kill them. So the main thing we hear today is not the push to have the people all with their opinions and scattered around for different matters. We really want to focus on the injustice that was done in the beginning. They told us multiple times that they were informed by unidentified source. I don't believe that should be justified in a killing. If you're saying that what you're doing is justified, why not release all the proper information to us family members and allow us to grieve the way we want to grieve behind it? But that's not what they're allowing us to do. They gave us partial information. We got 3 or 4 different ways of them telling us of what they were called to the scene about. We don't have a text message that they stated, which was the reason for them approaching him. No store has produced footage saying that they called or said anything that my brother threatened them. There's no evidence to prove that this man was a threat to the public outside of these officers being vigilantes. They pulling up, pointing people out, singling them out. I see them as simple as a gun task force. They pull up, they observe someone, baggy clothes, black guys, bags, clothes, whatever it is that make them assume to do what they want to do, but they're not doing it in a justful way. As you've seen multiple times, they had plenty of time and opportunity to subdue these guys the right way. They sat with the Dwight Hawkins incident, they sat in the store with him for who knows how long before they allowed this man to run out, chase him down and shoot him. Same way with my brother, they released multiple pictures and multiple footage of him sitting around, eating food, not bothering anyone, talk to the police officer in the process of them stopping him and coming up to him. He's walking past a police vehicle in the video, but yet it was an undercover officer, Mr. Rodriguez and them, who pursued him and led to this shootout. So with all of those facts and everything, our biggest issue is this. We want the public to know that the probable cause and the reason for them approaching these black men has yet to be received, has yet to be confirmed. We got zero evidence to prove what they're saying is true. They're only giving us hyperboles and what they want us to believe. So with that being said, we're here as a family to fight for his justice because they're showing y'all videos that's far past the crime that was already committed. The crime was committed from the immediate interaction with these black men. And to all the people out here that's watching, I want y'all to know we got black sons, fathers, uncles, dads, all of us out here in Baltimore. We know the city we live in. We know what we got to do to survive here in this city. And I'm not saying it's right to carry a gun, but it's damn sure not right for them to approach us and hunt us down the way they are or assume because of where we are and where we at. And that's really what all I want here to say. And I'm here to support, like I said, all of my family members. The Dwight Hawkins situation and all the other cases that's been going on here in the city is completely unjust, and I think these officers should be held accountable. Thank you.
I want to thank Miss Joy and Taj for those words. You can hear this is a family in pain, all right? This is a family that is still hurting from the loss of their loved one. And then they have to go and they have to see what happened to Dwight Hawkins, which is incredibly similar to what happened to Bilal. They are having to relive it again and again. And this was the same officer also, Omar Rodriguez, the same officer. He was part of the team that shot and murdered BJ. He was on paid leave for 6 months while the Office of the Attorney General investigated and refused to bring charges, which we are urging them to bring charges against these officers, criminal charges, on top of our civil lawsuit. He was paid for 6 months and now 2 months back on the street. Now 2 months back on the street, he has murdered another black man in this city. Think about any other job. You think you could kill somebody on your job and then get paid for 6 months and go back and kill somebody again? And he's going to get paid again as long as there's an investigation, and then they'll say, oh no, we're not charging these people criminally. So we have filed this civil action today with 5 different counts alleging wrongful death, battery, 2 separate violations of constitutional rights, and a violation of the Maryland State Declaration of Rights. I can circulate copies and you all can read through that. What I really want to focus on is the connection between the different cases that are happening and the bigger system we have in this city. What Todd said is true. We have a mob of armed vigilantes going around and killing people in the street. That's what's happening. They initiate the conflict, And in both cases, there was no visual evidence of a gun when the chase started. That is so important. I cannot emphasize that enough. In the pictures we've seen of Bilal, there is no gun. And even the tip was for a concealed weapon. How can you know of a concealed weapon? There was no reasonable suspicion. And there was no reasonable suspicion with Dwight Hawkins either. These cops, these police, they escalate, they instigate, and then it's the citizens who pay with their lives. Not only is it unlawful, it is unethical, immoral, and it is criminal. It is fundamentally criminal. BJ did not start the event that ended his life. He did not instigate it. Neither did Dwight Hawkins. The police did that. Some of the same damn officers did that. How long is this city, is the state going to allow these officers to run around, act like hammers, and treat every single black resident in this city like a nail? It is beyond unacceptable, and we are tired of the inaction. All these officers need to be immediately removed from their jobs, fired permanently, and then tried for murder in both cases. These families are tired. They're tired of this. Freddie Gray's family is tired of this. Dwight Hawkins' family is tired of this. The Abdullah family behind me and Alston family, they are tired of this. Their loved one can't come back. Bilal cannot come back because of a situation instigated by the police, and then they acted as judge, jury, and executioner. No arrest, no trial, no jury of your peers, just death. Because like Taj said, Bilal had the audacity to be a black man existing in Baltimore City. And so he was approached, and his criminality was assumed before he could exercise any of his rights under the laws in this country. So we have filed a civil lawsuit. We'll be following it up with motions. We are going to pursue this, and we're going to stay in front of the streets and in front of the press too. We're going to keep fighting because we need justice for Bilal. We need justice for Dwight. We need these officers to be held accountable and not just let to go back on the streets so they can kill more residents of this city.